Now, fathers, can I give you another lesson? If you have a son or sons that you hope get engaged in the business, the reason why I would run through a wall for my daddy is because my daddy always told me what was right with me. He didn't spend a lot of time telling me what was wrong with me. And sometimes, fathers, we got a bad habit of constantly reminding our sons of their weaknesses, constantly reminding our sons of their shortcomings, and then we wonder why they don't want to be around. And then we get confused why they don't want to be involved in the family business. Here's why they don't want to be involved in the family business. Because if you only tell me what's wrong with me, when I'm around you, I don't like how it makes me feel. And as a result, I don't want to be around this company or this business because I am constantly hearing what's wrong with me. If you want to change the game on your family dynamics, if you want to get your sons and daughters engaged in the business, here's what I recommend. Stop telling them what's wrong with them and start telling them what's right with them. When Coach Taskins told me I was the key, you know who he sounded like? He sounded like my dad. And that was the type of leadership that I was drawn to. Someone who made me feel a certain way. So if you want to change the culture inside your organization, here's what I recommend. Stop telling people what's wrong with them and start telling them what's right with them. So a total stranger closed the deal. How'd he do it? He first passed what? Eyeball test. The second thing he did not communicate with my family, he connected. He connected with my mama, he connected with my dad, and he connected with me the same way Russell connected with my wife. Now, if you want to increase your organic growth, what's important? What's that? Be likable. What else is important? Be trustworthy. What else is important? What's that? Be detail-oriented. What else is important? To be good at what you do. All this other stuff is sizzle if you're not good at what you do. See, a lot of customers got to work really hard to get customers. And smart business people answer the phone and take orders. I've been in this business for 15 years, and I can honestly say I am so freaking busy, I don't even have time to get in my office and sell because our organic growth is through the roof. I spoke every day last week. I'm speaking 4 times this week. I had a client who wanted me tomorrow, and they're pissed because I was not available because I got to go to Iowa tonight. I would much rather be in California than Iowa. But hey, I'm busy. Sorry. Now, wouldn't you rather turn clients away than to beg for freaking business? That's all we execute inside my company. We first want to pass the eyeball test. Second, we want to be likable. Third, we want to make sure our customers get value. Fourth, we want them to enjoy the experience while they engage our company. And just in case I screw up or make a mistake, my likability hopefully covers my mistakes. Does that make sense? Russell, his chair is full all day. He makes more money than most lawyers. I'm telling you one thing. Stop building your business based on resumes. That so-called resume allowed an HR professional to let me walk away. That's when I knew this whole resume thing is screwed up. No, I don't have experience, but you're going to let this walk through the door? You could have had me selling for you, and you're going to let this walk through the door? This mentality walks through the door? You're going to let this attitude walk through the door? You're going to let this tenacity walk through the door because you tell me my resume is light? Hire for attitude, train for skill. Hire for attitude, train for skill. And here's the best part of the story. I show up at the University of Minnesota. I walked on campus, I met my first teammate. What's up, dog? My name is Walt Bond, all state from Chicago. In other words, the Messiah has arrived. My teammate stood up and said this, what's your name again? My name is Willie Burton, All-American from Detroit, Michigan. All-American? Is that like a small town or something? The next day was our first practice. Coach told me I was the key. I'm going to find the toughest guy on the team, dunk the ball in his face, and I'll be stuck like I was in high school. I got in the locker room and I found the toughest guy on the team. His name was Richard Coffey. Richard Coffey is a former member of the 82nd Airborne. Richard Coffey, I'll be honest with you, was 6'6", 235 pounds. The first time I saw his body up close was the first time I questioned God. I thought we were all created equal. I saw Richard in the shower. We are not created equal. Then I thought for a minute, wait a minute. My daddy says what he means what he says. I say what I mean what I say. I'm gonna dunk this basketball and I'm gonna dunk it in Richard Coffey's face. As soon as practice starts, bring it on, Uncle Sam, let's go. Bring it on, Uncle Sam, let's go. And right before I got to the rim, I saw a UFO flying in the sky, headed straight toward me. Bam, splat, boom. Down I go. And Richard Coffey stood over me and said this, 82nd Airborne, we do it all. First to fight, last to fall. Get up, you little freshman. Walt, you okay? I can't breathe. I can't breathe. My only goal was to make it back to my dorm room without crying in front of my teammates. I made it back to my dorm room, and I brought up my boombox. Now, I'm the only motivational speaker you will ever meet that endorses pity parties. I shared this last night with Western's employees, and I'm gonna share it with you. To be successful in business, we must be mentally tough. To be successful in business, we must be mentally tough. To be successful in business, we must have mental toughness. That's why I endorse pity parties. God gave us emotions. But here's my rhetorical question for you. Do you use your emotions, or do you allow your emotions to use you? Some people have emotions, while other people are emotional. So when you lose a big contract, are you emotional, or do your emotions just kind of run its natural course? See, to play in the NBA, you must be mentally tough. To be successful in business, you must be mentally tough. So here's my advice. Throw pity parties, but never let them last more than 3 days. Put a 3-day minimum on your pity party. So I came back home, brought up my boombox, and I invited Lionel Richie to my pity party. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? For I wonder where you are, and I wonder what you do. Does anybody know what I did when the song was over? I played it again. And that's what a pity party is, honestly. It's when we meditate on the wrong thing over and over again. Never forget this, 90% of your life is good. 90% of your life is good. 10% of your life sucks. 90% of your industry is good. 10% of your industry sucks. 90% of your family is good. 10% of your family sucks. 90% of your children are good. 10% of your children suck. But what do you focus on? The 90 or the 10? See, if you are emotional, you focus on the 10. If you have normal emotions, you focus on the 90. So my rhetorical question for you, do you have mental toughness? Or are you the business guy that I'm talking about that's emotional? I got a great life. 90% of my life is good. 10% of my life sucks. I can't even hear out my left ear right now. I fly so freaking much that my whole little deal gets stuffed up. I was able to blow it out right before I spoke, and now I can hear a little bit out my left ear. I'm going to do 13 keynotes in about 18 days all over the world. But hey, 90% of my life is good. 10% of my life sucks. My mother-in-law died of breast cancer. My wife had to go in for a second mammogram. I wish I could have been there, but I was on the road. My wife wanted me there, but I was on the road. Sometimes my kids have recitals and baseball games. I want to be there, but I'm on the road. 90% of my life is good. 10% of my life sucks. When I get off this road trip, I already got my tea time set. I already got my events set up with my wife and kids. So 90% of my life is good, 10% of my life sucks. I focus on the 90, not the 10. Can you do me one favor? Focus on the 90 and not the 10.